Thank you very much. So, good afternoon to all professionals, sirs and madam. First of all, thanks to ICSI IIP for giving me an opportunity to discuss about end-to-end compliance of the process audit, both the CIRP as well as liquidation. So, once you have completed the assignment, you have to retain whatever the assignment documents, papers, records, all these things you have to keep it with you as per the particularly the papers are to be retained with you for minimum 8 years. And not only that one, from time to time, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, as well as Insolvency Professional Agency, they may conduct two types of audit. One is a random audit, second one is specific audit. The random audit is whatever the cases are handled by the insolvency professionals during that financial year, that is April to March. Out of that, they will select some cases or IPs or liquidators, and accordingly they will intimate to the concerned resolution professional or liquidator that we are coming to your place and you have to show whatever the documents are there. If at all in case of small cases, they may ask through online also, or they may ask the scanned copies of that particular assignment. And whatever their observations are there, the observations are to be recorded in the audit report. And the audit report will be submitted to the concerned authorities. The concerned authorities, based on the audit report, they may issue suitable instruction to the IRP or RP. And in case of serious lapses are there, they may penalize, they may refer to the disciplinary committee also. This is with regard to random audit. Out of the total cases that are handled by the resolution professionals or liquidators, they will select some a logic or some scientific manner that is called a random audit. The specific audit is if at all any complaints are there, if at all corporate data or the financial creditor or the operational creditor or the other stakeholders, if at all they have complied to the IBBI, and they will verify that particular complaint, and accordingly they will take a call whether to do audit or not. If at all they are going to verify that papers or records or documents, whatever it is there, they will come to your place, they will verify the physical copies, and they will interact with the particularly those who are given complaint, that also they will meet, they will take their responses and their grievances, all these things. So once the case is over, it is not the end of the story. The end of the story is, and once the complaints are not received, and if at all your name is not reflected in the random audit, then we are in safe side. But during that particular audit, the resolution professional, IRP or RP, or the liquidator, they have to give full cooperation, full support, and whatever the relevant documents they are asking, that is to be produced. And if at all that is not produced, then it is a serious lapses, and they may take a serious manner, and accordingly they will refer to the disciplinary committee. Disciplinary committee may cancel the certificate of practice or penalty, or sometimes 2 or 3 years they will cancel that particular the certificate, or sometimes pre-registration 50 hours course also in some cases they will recommend, and so many things are there. So to avoid or to avert that one, the audit, what type of documents you have to keep it, all these things. You have to keep it in a structured manner, if possible in a digitalized manner, and if at all one case, one pen drive with a high memory power, take a backup and storage that one. If at all any papers or the registers, you are keep it with you, and if at all any white ants are attracted, then the document spoilage may be there. So to overcome that disaster, you have to scan the particular total document in a sequence manner from the day one, once you received the order, and whatever the sequence, and if at all you numbered that one and put it in box file, later on the digitalization is also very easy. Once in a sequence manner device, and the number is also allotted sequence number, and scan it, and one folder, you one PDF file, that is sufficient. And in that PDF, if at all search command is also available, and whenever the auditors are, if you provide that the pen drive, he will complete that audit. Whatever the register, all are to be scanned, and through the search command, whatever the document he require, that he will search in that PDF file. Not only that one, if at all it is in physical also in a seriatim manner, the device in a box file, and each and every CIRP or liquidation, or whether RP or IRP or liquidator, company wise the folders are to be prepared. Why this much structure is required means, whatever information he is asking with regard to that CIRP or liquidation, and whatever the documents say they are asking, 100% you have to show. If at all any missing documents are there, that is also a problem. Some of the people, particularly whenever they are during that audit, if IBBA official is asking some documents, if it is not produced, and the RP or IRP or liquidator, they may take a casual approach, then once it is referred to the particular disciplinary committee, then it will be a big problem. To avoid all these things, okay, sometimes error is human. So once you are not complete that process on account of various reasons, try to give the full particulars, the genuineness of the particulars to the auditor. If at all you have completely neglected and give wrong information, wrong documentation, that is also a big problem. So don't give any wrong information. Okay, I have not completed that process. Sir, on account of by mistake it was happened, miss. they will take not in a serious and low risk or medium risk they will put it. If at all you tell in a different manner, how it is so possible, sir? This is CIRP. CIRP is a tough one, and all documents only one person I have to handle. All these things, none of their business. It is your business. You have to handle. Once the assignment is handled by you, the code, the regulation, the rules, the judicial pronouncement, or NCLT orders all are to be monitored and controlled by you, in addition to the company as a going concern. For that purpose only, the assignment is given by the Honorable NCLT to you, or the financial creator, or the operational creator, or the corporate director. Finally, it is approved by the COC or NCLT like that. So here, no question of wrong information, the correct information. Today, the IRP or RP or liquidator, they are handling the cases. Most of the people are professionals basically. The chartered accountant, the cost accountant, the company secretary, or the legal advisors also. And in addition to that, those who are not a professional earlier, they are in the managerial capacity of 15 years. So in any firm, whether it is an internal audit or concurrent audit or external audit or statutory audit, they might have faced the number of audits. This audit is not a unique one when compared to that audit. Once you have faced a number of audit, the big size audit, this is why you whether this is a cakewalk for you. So that's why you have to be careful in this area. Some of the people, they are not cooperating. Once they are not cooperating, definitely some bad remarks will arise. So I will discuss it today and tomorrow, CIRP as well as liquidation, and how to address some planning management, and what are the documents to be verified by them, and what are the documents to be submitted by you, and all end to end. That is, so far this type of program is or webinar is not they not at all conducted by the IPS. And today the number of cases are increasing for audit. So this is a need of our to conduct this, because once the auditor is there in any organization, some fear psychosis is there in the mind of the auditee. Oh, what will us? Whether he find out that mistake, if at all find out that mistake, what the actions they will take, all this in the mind it is lingering. But at the same time, he is a friend, a philosopher, and a guide also. And whatever the actuals, whatever the in that particular situation, whatever sometimes you may miss it on account of some the various reasons. You tell clearly this is happened. That's why I have unable to complete that task or process or sub process. Then in a different manner, the auditor will write, and whatever the information you are going to give, he is presented in a different manner. If at all you have not provided, no, sir, that is paper is not available. Sir, this is 2 years back. Now I am handling 2 or 3 cases. One side I have to go to that particular company to handle that as a going concern. In between, this audit means how it is possible, sir? Don't be negative remarks. Okay, profession means the ups and downs are there. Tension, the challenges are there. All these things we have to invite, we have to handle successfully. Then only we will become a perfect man or a perfect profession. Random and specific audit under IBBA framework. The compliance accountability of the resolution professions. You have to comply. whatever the regulation, whatever the codes, whatever the rules, all are in toto 100%, not even 99% also. Not even 99. Sir, I have completed 100, sir, at the 99, sir. One valuation is not completed, sir. I have given rough value. Ouch. Sir, I have verified all these things, sir, but only one mistake. I have not properly verified the claims admission. Ouch. So that's why whatever the sequence days, 180 or 270 or 330, up to the ending of the case, all are to be properly handled, properly filed on day-to-day base file. Some of the people, the planning and time management is missing. Whatever the paper, they will throw it in different tables and they don't bother about that. That is not a professional skill. Whatever the paper, and if at all it is a sub-process of the CIRP, number it, file it, date, initial it, file it. Some people, no, this is not by role. In that case, what is your role? If at all it is telling that it is not my role, means whose role it is? Why the auditor is coming? And we have to support, we have to give the provide the documents and witness and whatever the interaction with the CD or financial creditor or operational creditor, all are your job only, not the other's job. But here, no question of delegation. No question of delegation. Under the framework of IBC, Insolvency and IBBI, monitoring the conduct of insolvency professional is carried out through random and specific audit. Your conduct, whether in the coming days, my perception thinking, my visualization, definitely some marks will also be added. For each audit, they will give some marks. My perception thinking, now the volumes are increasing. Among that particular the senior people of the IRP, they may give assignment to complete the audit with some fees like that. This is my visualization, my personal perception thinking. So the conduct of IP is carried out through the random and audit. Whether it is a random or complaint, if at all I have followed 100%, I need not worry. I need not bother about but I have to give support. I have to give some cooperation, whatever the papers, with laughing, with smiling, I have to provide the information so that the audit will be completed within the time and the number of remarks will reduce. These audits are entirely unfamiliar, not entirely unfamiliar to professionals. Sir, this is not a new thing to you. Because if at all, some people, they are working in BHEL or HMT 15 years, they also become a IRP or RP after completion of the examination. And a CA, the chartered accountants, they know cost accountants, they know cost audit and other. Is secretarial auditor, they know. And even legal professionals also, they know what is audit. Audit is nothing but what is the system, whether the system is implemented by the professional or not, that is the role of the auditor. So if at all the IBBI has given 300 steps, particularly for CIRP, whether 300 steps are followed or not. And in that particular step, whatever the documents are there, the documents are to be properly filed. So these audits are not entirely unfamiliar to professional acting as an interim or RP or liquidator, as they closely resembles the audit environment they have experienced earlier in their chartered accountants, cost accountant, company secretaries, legal professions, and senior officials of the corporate and public sector undertaking. Suppose I'm the banker. I know I have faced a number of audit, concurrent audit daily, risk-based internal audit 1.5 year, credit audit where the 5 crores and above, and risk-based audit is there, and stock audit is there. So many audits, foreign exchange audit, currency chest audit, KYC audit. Why? Because whether Mr. Prasad is implemented the Reserve Bank of India guidelines or bank guidelines in toto 100% or not. Once the Prasad is implemented, all the stipulations or guidelines or regulations, there no question of the remarks made by the auditor. The clean report they will give. No complaints to point out. No complaint. But that possibility is there. Day one, we have to closely read the regulations and implement code book, particularly IBC code, the latest book should be with you. Once the date of a particular case, whatever the CIRP regulation, take the printout. These two are very, 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 very useful. Only two. And daily you have to carry the code as well as the regulation. Being a senior person, so sometimes the regulation number or sections we may not remember. And this is must. These two are to be in your briefcase. This essence lies in the discipline documents, systematic record keeping, and the ability of the present of the facts with the clarity and accuracy. I want public announcement. Show to the, when the order is given, show to the auditor. When the public announcement to 3 days, very good. Immediately, once the auditor seen and the appropriate place, file it. COC formation, show me. And claims the financial creditor, how many? Calculation of the voting rate, correct or not? Next, how you are admitted the financial creditors is based on the document, based on the particular document and bank statement and whatever the interest up to the insolvency commencement date is there or not. All these things they will verify. And accordingly, even excess interest also danger. If at all after insolvency commencement date, if at all excess interest is also charged by the financial creditor, then automatically the voting right will change. Once the voting right is changed, total system will change. The CIRP. So from the each step, what is the regulation, what is the code, or what is the rules? Then if you follow audit remarks, no question of audit remarks. So discipline documentation for everything. Sir, that I have taken that document, sir. I have forgotten, I missed somewhere, sir, or I placed it somewhere, sir. These questions are stories, they don't listen. Systematic record keeping and the ability to present the facts with clarity and accuracy. If at all they raise some question, answers with the documents, with the clarity and accuracy. No question of doubt, no question of doubt arises. Nature and objectives of IBBI audit. The random audits are conducted on a sample basis to assess the general compliance, whereas specific audits are triggered by complaints. So that should not be invited. Once the specific audits are there, then something wrong with the RP or liquidators. Okay, random audit, that is by default. So in that random, if my case is coming, they will come. But a specific audit means on account of complaints, red flags, sometimes NCLT, sometimes a financial creditor, sometimes this one, particularly corporate debtor or operational creditor or the home buyers or the workmen or the sellers, employees, they may raise a complaint. Red flag. And a particular transaction even during the CIRP or liquidation. So we should not give any scope for the specific audit. Once we are perfect, specific auditor need not arise. Once we are following the regulation, once we are following the code, no question of the specific audit. Despite the difference in trigger, both the types of audit aim to evaluate whether the IP has adhered to the provisions of IBC, regulations, and professional standards while discharging the duty. That is the core objective. That is the objective of the specific or random audit. So even though there is a difference in both the types of audits, but whether IP has adhered the provisions of the insolvency and bankruptcy code, regulation, and the professional standards while discharging their duties. So that's why once the audit is there, no need. Once I am command on the particular subject, once I have done with the utmost accuracy, small things, somewhere it will happen. That's why I told error is human. But that small things should not be a serious one. If at all small things, auditor will also not act. Suppose in one document you have forgotten to sign. Signs are now itself you sign, then the rectification is also moved. And the professional by discharge the duties. Professionals handling CIRP or liquidation assignment often find strong similarities between IBBA audit and a traditional audit. Often find strong similarities they handled in their prior roles. But honestly speaking, both are one and same. Audit is nothing but the system designed by the organization. The system is implemented at the root level or not. Root means the operational level. Suppose the bank audits are happening. What is the audit? Head office given some guidelines or checklist or systems and procedures to the branch. While sanctioning the loan of housing, these 30 checklists to be followed. These 30 systems and procedures are to be followed. Then if you followed, no question of comments. So that's why here also our systems and procedures, our checklist, our particularly the value statements is nothing but the regulations, the rules, the code. That's all. Just as a statutory internal or compliance audit emphasizes is a place on documentary evidence, audit trials, consistency between recorded transactions and actual limits. Recorded transaction and actual events, whether the similarities are they say similar or not. If not similar, then to be mentioned in the report. The requirement to substantiate decisions, whether financial or legal or procedure, remains a common thread. Both are common. Whether the audit of a bank or audit of insurance, audit of a company, audit of IBBA, all are common. What is the guidelines, whether implemented or not? That's our audit is nothing but guidelines implementation. If guidelines are there, implementation are matching, no question of remarks. If guidelines are 100 and the branch, the operating level, they have implemented 80, 20 to be reflected in the audit report. If CIRP total process end to end, 100 events are there. If 100 events are strictly followed by IRP or RP, no question, no remarks. In the similar manner, liquidator also. If day one, the case admitted under liquidation commencement date to end, all are to be implemented by the liquidator. No question. For this, what he will ask? What will ask means it is not out of syllabus. It is within the syllabus only. The syllabus is nothing but regulation. The syllabus is nothing but code. A key aspect of successful facing of IBB ad is a systematic organization of records. Day one, what are that particular company assignments I have taken, whatever the records in a day wise, in a easy retrieval manner. If at all I organize, auditor comes, good morning, sir. Take your seat, sir. Tell me, sir, one by one. I will retrieve and I will show. Retrieval and show. Retrieval and show. Then 100% he will be satisfied. So here, small errors which not affects the total process, that it don't mind. That also next time that is not to be repeated. This includes the maintaining of minutes of the committees of credit, the meetings, the public announcements, the claim verification, the valuation reports, correspondence with the stakeholder, filing made with the adjudicating authority, etc. These are the things. This is not a rocket science. Thus, all these things are mentioned in your regulation. Minutes mentioned. How to conduct the meeting mentioned in the regulation. Client verification mentioned in the regulation. Valuation reports mentioned in the regulation. Correspondence with the stakeholder mentioned in the regulation. Filing with adjudicating authority mentioned in the regulation. There is no out of syllabus. All are within the syllabus only. So that's why it is a very easy, subject to arrangement of records, subject to the proper recording of the transaction. So from the day one of suppose Gatam Gatha, whatever happened earlier assignment. Once you listen this one, if at all you are properly organized your papers or records or documents in a structured manner and bundle it and keep it. And once, if at all it is that retention period is there, after retention period, destroy that one. Before retention period, any random or specific auditor, that bundle you keep it with you and have a look and start the process and one by one you can arrange. But sometimes the audit is also challenging. Why challenging? If at all I done some mistakes, instead of two papers, I have given one paper. And the claims are not properly they verified. Thereby the composition of the voting right is wrong. And evaluation matrix wrong. And they particularly resolution plans are submitted by the people. And I have they taken a lowest one and the highest one not taken. Then I have to substantiate. If at all I am unable to substantiate, the auditor will take that point and highlight in the audit report. Proper indexing is required. Day-wise. Once the paper is completed, number it, file it, number it, file it, sequence number. No, the so company dash, that is not required. See, anyhow, each company one box file. In that box file, 2 or 3 box files and a serial number. Once the day queue, that is a queue. If you give the serial number, then it is a very, very good. Digital backups, particularly whatever the data is there, the data of the financial statement, data of the purchase register, data of the sales register of the company as on CIRP commencement date, the data backups are also required. Whatever the creditors list, whatever the debtors list, whatever the closing stock, whatever the assets, all are available data tapes. Take the backup and keep it with you in the same bundle and a chronological arrangement of the document in a sequence manner. Auditor will also, he is also having the checklist. He will also ask in the sequence manner. Once he is asking sequence manner and you retrieve that one and show it, then the issue will be over. Significantly easy in the audit process to ensure timely retrieval. Timely retrieval. Otherwise, if at all the papers are put or kept it at different places, once the auditor is come and all are assembled in a zigzag manner, then it will be a problem. It will be a problem. Timely retrieval and responsiveness is. Then if at all you are in a arranged manner, date-wise serial number, retrieval is easy. If at all you told that, sir, that record is not available, before completion of audit, I will submit, means then the wrong the remarks will float in the minds of the auditors. Why he is not submitted? Whether he is fabricated that document or they created the document manually or not, that thinking process will start. So whatever the documents, keep it in that particular folder and set aside. And audit efficiency and logic depend on how promptly information can be produced. Sir, some audits easy to complete. Once all documents are in a sequence manner, like a bullet of type. Here, the auditor is asking auditees, but here, don't delegate this audit work to anybody. You have to be the personally monitor the activities, not by the others. Not by the others. If at all others are there, they may have the knowledge, they may not have the knowledge. And some explanations have to be given. That explanations, if at all he is not aware of these explanations, then it will be a problem. Insolvency professions are expected to respond audit queries within the stipulated. Once he is asking, if at all I am fully involved in that process, fatafat. What is the sir? This is the response, sir. This is the proof, sir. That is the proof, sir. Some of the people are simply delegating. And evening they will sign it and they will go it. They don't involve fully. Once they are not involved fully, then it will be a big problem in auditing process. If at all I am fully involved, some of the people are 25 cases, 6 cases handling and they are busy with the other profession, they are not completely involved, then this audit will be a problem. Auditor management is not required. We have to manage the records, so we have to manage the whatever the correspondence and all this in a sequence manner. Even before 2 days, we have to take that document, all are in order or not, that is to be kept. Delay or incomplete submission may raise concerns regarding complaints or transfers. If at all you are delayed, sir, wait for 2 days, wait for 2 days, means the auditor daily he will ask. some hidden agenda of the auditee is there. Therefore, maintaining well-structured document management system becomes crucial for quick and access submission. Well submission is very much required. Otherwise, it will not success. And wrong the communications and communication gaps, then it affects on your daily routine activity also. If at all that the auditor is asking and you have completed that you are remembering and that document not available, then you are worrying and when you are doing the other CIRP or liquidation, then in your mind it is lingering like that. Therefore, maintaining well-structured documentation, complete it, seal it, and keep it aside, not to attract white ants. White ants. That's why some of the even banks also, whatever the records are there, every 3 months we use it to give the white ants a spray so that the documents will not be spoiled. Beyond documentation, the ability to clearly explain the sequence of the events during CIRP or liquidation is equally important. Not only that documentation, valuation later on, and preferential transaction first, and valuation after that particular the expression of interest. In the meantime, he has given rough valuation mentioned in the particular information memorandum. All these things. The sequence also important. Not only sequence, the time scheduled that are given in the CIRP regulation. Whatever the time schedules are there, that is to be stick on. There is no other way. Auditors often seek understanding the rationale behind key decisions, such as admission or rejection of claims, and they are giving more attention on why you have admitted this one. Why you are classified this operational criteria as a financial criteria, if at all wrong classification is there. Why you are admitting the case with a higher rate of interest than the stipulated rate of interest in the agreement? If at all you are involved, then only you can answer. Otherwise, if at all you have given clerical and they did some mistake and you are answerable, not the clerical. Why you have given? In the agreement, quarterly compound 12%, but here the 14% the claimant made with a quarterly compound. Why you have given 14? You on account of this one, the percentage of voting is changed. Now, if at all they approach NCLAT, the case will be reversed also. Rejection of claims, conducting COC meeting, resolution plan evaluation, and a liquidation of asset sales. So, for key decisions, admission or rejection, conducting of COC meeting, or resolution plan evaluation, and liquidation asset sales. For all these things, your involvement. And before that also, the audit trial also you can complete one day. He will ask this one, he will ask this one, he will ask this one, and you recapitulate it because you are already handled the CIRP and one more CIRP you are they handling, and in that case the sequence, whether all the records are in sequence or not, keep it that in the sequence. And first, self-audit is one of the important. Yourself to be audited. That is called self-audit. Once you have completed the self-audit, then only go for that live audit. Live audit errors will minimize. A logical, well-supported narrative aligns with the document evidence helps establish credibility and compliance. Once you have shown like that, your credibility will increase. His compliance, good compliance. All are followed. There is no pinpoint to this paper is not there, that process not completed. It is no scope. The auditor will give good report in the coming days. To my knowledge is concerned, definitely ratings will also be there. To my knowledge is concerned in the coming days, those who are well experienced, they will be appointed as an auditor because IBBA staff is not sufficient to handle the audit. Number of cases are increasing. And across the country, across all NCLTs, the products also, CIRP or liquidation or voluntary liquidation or personal guarantor to corporate debtor or PPIRP. So the products are increased. If at all group insolvency or cross-border insolvency, if all are individuals or the individual insolvency, like partnerships and individual through DRT, DREAT, then number of cases will increase. IBBA staff is not they're not sufficient to handle the audit work also. Professional approach and accountability. IBBA audits demand high degree of professionalism, objectivity and accountability. So for each and everything, suppose you have given a paper advertisement, public announcement, the auditor will ask, what are the how many papers are there? What is the highest circulation? The highest circulation that is in the registered office location. Some of the people simply they are giving some paper advertisement for ritual purpose only. But regulation says the message should reach. If at all you have given a low circulation, then he will comment. Okay, given. Whether you have mentioned in the corporate data website, show me the website. Whether you have sent the IBBA website, show me the IBBA website. Where it is. So all these things in the coming days, if an EBCRE of Indian Banks Association website, if at all they have issued circular, there also display means where it is. Show me. The insolvency professionals must demonstrate their actions were not only compliant with the law, but also guided by prudence, fairness to all the stakeholders. So the complaint law, you have to complain the law. Law in the essence means code. The law means the regulation to be followed. The law means the rules are to be followed, and what are the directives that are given by the NCLT or NCLAT, you have to follow. You have to follow. Because you are the court appointed officer. And this aligns with the ethical standards expected in early professional roles, reinforcing the continuity of the professional discipline. For that purpose only, this audit was introduced. In essence, particularly to conclude, the introduction part I am giving first. After that, CIRP, liquidation, all these things, what are the papers, what are the documents, they will verify, all these things I will discuss. What is the planning? What is the time management? How the queries are to be resolved? All these things I will discuss. Up to yesterday, 5:30. Today up to 5:30 and tomorrow also 2:30 to 5:30, I will complete both the CIRP as well as liquidation from random and specific audit point of view. In essence, Random and specific audit conducted by IBBI or extinction of audit culture familiar to many IPs. Once you faced that audit, definitely next assignment, the quality will increase. Whether it is CIRP, because you are continuously, it is as good as a education. It is as good as a learning experience. It is as good as a pinpoint where your mistakes are committed in CIRP or liquidation. The success in these audits lies meticulous documentation for each and everything. Honestly speaking, I am also following the meticulous because I am also in the audit department of the India's largest bank, that is State Bank of India. Prompt responsiveness. Once I am completely involved, instantly my voice will rise and sir, this is the paper. So I have handled like this. This is a regulation. You see the regulation paper. Then there is no scope for the auditor. Pinpoint my particularly that process and ability to articulate distances transparently. What are the decisions I have taken? Suppose I take, for example, I have spent some amount without COC approval. Sir, I have incurred, correct, sir. But the COC approval is not there. Correct, sir. I too agree. On that day, if at all I have not taken that decision, then the wheel of the company will not move. The manufacturing wheel will not move. Once the wheel is not moving, the wages unnecessarily have to pay. So that 1 lakh, whatever the small repairs for that particular machinery incurred and without approval and post sanction I have submitted. Correct. Suppose I take, for example, one item is I have not taken COC approval. Okay, correct. That too, that is 5 lakhs. Correct. So why I have taken that decision? What pressures are there? If at all I have not taken a decision, how much loss to the company? That I have to analyze, articulate my decision transparently. Okay, sir, that 5 lakhs raw material is required. Immediately, without your concurrence, I have taken decision. That is 100% true. I am not hiding that one. If it had I been not incurred that one, this much loss is there. This much way the labor or employees, they sit idle. Thereby, this much lakhs, the company is incurring losses and the particular buyers are also, they may not get the product in time. Professionals who adopt a structure and a disciplined approach throughout the CIRP liquidation are better equipped with handling such audit efficiently and confidently. That's why today what is happening means some of the people simply they will delegate. You do that one, you do. Some of the people they are outsourcing also. Some other people, I'm not talking all people. Why outsource? Is there any regulations in this regard to outsource the profession? No. So some other people they are outsourcing. Some other I am busy with the regular profession and this is supplementary. You handle this, that. If at all he is not understanding that particular concept, then he will handle as per his likes and dislikes. That is happening. That's why year on year basis, the specific audit cases are increasing in the IBBI. Involvement is missing in some auditors, not all auditors. Professionals who adopt a structured and disciplined approach throughout the CIRP. Had I been involved in throughout, audit is nothing for me. Whatever the questions raised, whatever the difficult challenge or super challenge, whatever it is there, I am answerable for that because I fully involved in that particular process. And a liquidation process are better equipped to handle such audit efficiently and confidently. This is in brief about the introduction part. Are you getting my point, sir? Are you getting my point? Are you able to understand what I am telling?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Any doubts, sir? Okay.
Sir, no doubt.
Ah. Now, in detail, various documents, all these things, time management, how to address all these things, I will discuss in detail also, sir. IBBA revolutionized India's CIRP by introducing time-bound and credit-driven resolution process. But today, still criticism is happening. COC is not completely involved. IRP is not completely involved. IP is not completely involved. Or liquidator he is not completely involved. Even though it is a time bound and a Kratos driven resolution process to ensure integrity, transparency, and accountability of this process, the IBBA empowered itself to carry out audits, inspection, investigation against a professional and the entities also involved under the code. Even IBBI not only audit the IPs, they are auditing the IPAs, insolvency professional agencies. They are also doing the audit for information utility, which is regulated by the IBBI. Audit is not only for the IPs. IPs, not only the IPs, IPA, Insolvency Professional Agency of ICAI, ICSI, ICMAI. Not only that one, IU, Information Utility. They will verify how the documents are particularly digitalized. And while they digitalizing how the information is getting both from the financial creator as well as the borrower. All these things they will verify along with the bylaws of the IPA as well as IU also. Among these mechanisms, random and specific audit occupy a critical position. Initially, nobody knows about this specific and random audits. Today, increasing. Complaints are increasing. That's why earlier I have taken the class on disciplinary committee. Disciplinary committee direct complaints, not only complaints. Once the complaint is there, the DC will depute the auditor to go to that particular IP and verify the documents and give the report. Among these mechanisms, random audit and specific audit, critical position. They serve both the preventive and the corrective tools. So once the audit is there, the same mistakes may not be repeated in the coming CIRP or liquidation, RPP, ARP or voluntary liquidation. Designed not only to detect the non-compliance and or irregular, but also promote best practices. The quality, the efficiency of the CIRP will increase. Ethical conduct, the conduct of the particular the IP code that is mentioned, that will also increase. Professional discipline. Once the audit is there, discipline of the resolution. Professionals or liquidators and other stakeholders handling the insolvency proceedings such as CIRP, audit is there, liquidation, audit is there, voluntary liquidation, audit is there, prepackaged insolvency, audit is there, and personal guarantor to corporate data, audit is there. Whatever the products that are introduced by IBBI, all are subjected to The random or the specific audit. Random or specific audit. A comprehensive exploration of the conceptual procedure framework governing random and specific across the various stages of insolvency resolution and liquidation, analyzing the implications for the professional accountability, compliance under IBBA regulated. So once I have done some wrong things, accountable. That is, I have to pay the penalty, or I have to sacrifice the cancellation of the particular, the IBBA will cancel my practice, or 2 years no practice, or they will small things. Again, they will ask 50 hours that pre-registration training also. So to avoid all these things, only 2 books are to be carried. IBC code book, latest regulation. If at all CIRP regulation, or if at all liquidation regulation, plus code book, or the PPIRV regulation plus a code book, or the PG to CD code book plus regulation, or voluntary liquidation, latest regulation plus code book. At any point of time, only 2 books, the one code book, the code, the IBC code, as well as the latest regulation that you are going to handle that product, that is CIRP or liquidation or voluntary liquidation or PG2CD or the PPIR. Auditing framework under IBC ecosystem. IBBA established a section 188 of IBC, the regulatory authority overseeing the service providers. You are the service provider. That's why in the IBBA website also, service providers menu, your IPs are there, IPAs are there, information utilities are there, other registered entities in CIRP, all this IP is also there. So under section 188 of the code, all service providers are, their functions are to be regulated. Their actions are to be regulated. And under section 196 1G and H of the code, IBBA has an explicit power to monitor the performance of IPs and agencies, whether you are performing well or not. One side I am talking, it is a time bound, it is a creditors driven, value maximization, all these things, I'm talking, but once I'm not doing this work properly, what is the purpose of a preamble? Value maximization, all these things. Call information, inspect the records, and conduct audit and investigation. So section 196 1G and H has explicit powers to monitor the performance of IPs and agencies. Call the information, inspect the records, and conduct audits and investigation into their activities. These powers are exercised to the board's inspection investigation division, who will come to your doorstep, that is your office, or your particularly, if at all you don't have the office, they will approach you. The board's inspection and investigation division, they will come, supported by audit framework, designed identity process, deviations, and compliance gaps. What are the compliance gaps? Why you are deviated? All these things face to face. But 1 or 2 items are there, or complaints are there, they will ask, if at all it is not a serious one, through online also. But once they have given that particular timing, before timing we have to log in. And whatever their queries are there, all papers are to be shown. And PDF files are also to be ready. If at all they are simultaneously asking, you write it on a piece of paper and send the email all the people once your interaction is over. Then doubt will not arise. If at all, no, sir, that paper is not available, I will come back to you, sir. Or I will search and I will come back to you, sir. This type of excuses, not acceptable. An audit for the purpose of IBBA website is a broadly defined an examination of records, documents, process, and conducting of the profit. They will verify the records. They will verify the documents. They will verify your process. Process 1 to process 2, process 2 to process 3, process 3 to process 4. Not a process 1 after that, a process 10, after that, a process 2. No. The time schedule and the process chart is also given in CIRP regulation. That is to be followed. And the conducting of the professions. Conduct of the professions. Some of the professions, they are doing wrong things. They are colluded with values. They are colluded with other service providers like the transaction audit. They are colluded with the resolution applicants, which is not correct. So if you see that particular DC cases, all these things are there. The proceedings managed by them to ensure adherence to the code, regulation, and circulars. They don't ask you the out of syllabus. Boss, have you followed the code? Yes, sir. Under which section, boss? Have you followed in this process regulation? Yes, sir. What is the regulation number? This, sir. Then what is have you read the circulars of IBBA from time to time? Yes, sir. So as per circular, this is I have done, sir. This is this, sir. If at all you have given the correct answer, only the correct answer will arise once you are involved in the process. Within the scheme, random and specific audit represent two primary modalities of examination, differing in purpose, initiation and scope. Initiation criteria and scope. So within the scheme, particularly random and specific audit represent two primary modalities examination, differing in purpose. One is on the initiation criteria. Second one is the scope, particularly the specific audit is the scope. Scope means, sir, that valuations are wrong, sir. Then they will come. They will verify the valuation. No, sir, resolution plans, some people they have made, even though we are talking about commercial wisdom and all these things, that is a secondary one. Valuation and RP or IRP is colluded with each other. That's why the valuation is wrong. They will come. Next, evaluation matrix, all are wrong, sir. They will come and they will verify. And claims, they have insolvency commencement date claim, but the one financial creditor they have claimed after 85th day. Up to that date, they have they calculated the interest and RP is admitted. So that's why the percentage of the voting right is disturbed. Yes, random audit. The random audit refers to the audit initiated by EBBI, wherein selection of the case or professional is based on the randomized or sampling method, not specifically triggered by complaints or known irregularities. It is not a complaint driven. It is not a complaint driven. So that's why the random audit refers to the audit initiated by the IBBI, wherein the selection of the case or professional is based on the randomized sampling method, not specifically triggered by the complaints. Once a random audit, okay, don't be tense. Don't be tense. Because out of 100, they pick it up your case. That's all. But in the meantime, whatever the books are there, whatever the records are there, whatever the the resolutions or whatever the minutes are there, all are to be kept ready. The purpose is primarily to prevent to access compliance levels. Whether why random, whether they are complied all the regulations or code or circulars or not. That's all. With regard to that particular product. Across the provision on a representative basis and maintain continuous vigilance over these functions of IR, the insolvency resolution and liquidation process. The purpose is primarily prevented to access the compliance levels across the profession on a representative basis and maintain continuous vigilance over the function of the insolvency resolution and liquidation process. This approach mirrors global regulatory practices. This is not a, while introducing this particular the random audit, this is the practice that are adopted across the globe in different parts of the world, wherein the periodic and random review mechanisms ensure adherence to ethical and procedural standards. Only procedure, whether they are following the procedural standards or not. If at all they are, nobody is verified your procedural standards or ethical, then automatically the system will be failed. So the system, to safeguard the system, that is a IBC system. The IBC system to be safeguarded, that's why random audit. This is the best practices that are adopted across the globe. Objectives of the random audit. Why random audit is required? The objectives of the random are multifaceted. What are the multifaceted? To access the compliance culture. Once the auditors or the random is there, oh, I have to follow because one person will come and verify. If at all any deviations are there, penalties will be imposed and show cause notice and disciplinary action will be initiated. The fear psychosis in the minds of the RPR, IRPs or liquidators in diverse proceedings to detect the potentials systemic failures or patterns of non-compliance. If at all I have not complied, the total system will be failed. The case the IBC case that I am handling, whether CIRP or liquidation, completely failed. Because the system is designed after promulgation of the act, after defining the regulation rules, and that is that is approved by both parliament houses and enacted. If I have not followed that one, then the particularly systemic failures, all cases will fail. So random is compulsory. So sometimes they will increase also. So based on the specific audit, if complaints are increasing, definitely random percentage will also increase. To reinforce the discipline and the deterrence, ensuring the profession maintain records with readiness for examination at any time. Discipline. That if you read that particular regulation or the code, or whatever the cooperation with regard to the auditors that is spelled out by IBBI, you should be ready. No, sir, that case is over, sir. 1 month back, 1 year back, that is closer, sir. No problem, sir. No problem. No complaints, nothing. Means that is not. Whatever the retention period of the records, why you have not maintained the records for retention period up to 8 years? To generate a learning insights of the improving the regulatory framework. Once the random audit is there, definitely during that conversation, the auditor will tell, boss, you have done like this. This is not correct. See the regulation. The regulation states like this. You have to handle like this, not this one. And he will mention in the remarks. To to generate learning insights for improving the regulatory framework or issuing the clarificatory of circulars by the IBBI. Selection mechanism. The cases of the random audit is typically drawn from IBBA database. All are entered. Once you are in, they got that order, immediately you have to upload the information in IBBA website in your account. And all databases during this financial year, how many people are there? The amount wise, center wise, all are available. Conclude the process, CIRP and liquidation, voluntary liquidation. How many completed? Then only during that process they don't come. Once it is completed, IBBA database ongoing or recently concluded. Some of them are the edge of completion, ongoing or recently. Most preferably, those who are completed, that will come liquidation or voluntary liquidation. A risk-based sample or pure random generator may be the parameters, type of entity, whether it is a medium or large scale CD. CD may be the largest scale or medium. If it are below 100 crores or above 100 crores or 200 crores below or 200 crores above, like that they will decide. They will decide the amount and all these things. They don't reveal all these things to you. Duration of the case. If at all the case is completed 90 days or 180 days or 270 and some cases prolonged also, then the prolonged case also they will identify during that random audit. And a number of exceptions granted. Okay, that data is available in IBPI website of in your account. How many times you have requested? First 180 completed, after that 90 asked, after that 60 asked, and still it is not completed. Then IBPI has given some more extension without moving to that liquidation like that. That is also one criteria. RP track record. If RP complaints are there last 2 years and the RP complaints are more, definitely that type of cases will also take. Whether earlier his complaints are more, this year we will include this person, the random instead of a specific audit. May influence the probabilistic selection. The probabilistic or deterministic selection means these are the factors. These are the only factors. Sometimes they may think in a different manner also. So based on that, they will finalize and accordingly they will depute the officers. And sometimes they will ask the audit department, investigation department people to complete the audit through online also. And they will have face-to-face interaction with the RT versus the auditor. During that particular this one, the auditor will mention some information. At the same time, the IP also, and whatever the requirements are there, if he asked, instantly retrieve the PDF file and send to them. Process and execution. Once identified, the IBBA and executive auditor issues a notice to the consent resolution or liquidator asking for disclosure of books of accounts of the corporate. Show me. What is the latest balance sheet that is CIRP commencement today? Have you, if at all the balance sheet is old date, have you prepared any rough balance sheet for this particular up to CIRP date? And the stakeholders committee minutes in case of liquidation. Public announcement, invitation of expression of interest, resolution plans. Show me all the documents. Compliance certificate submitted to board and NCLT. Whatever it is there, have you submitted? All these things they will ask. Auditor examines whether timeline filings. What is the timeline? They are having instant information about the audit checklist and whatever the regulations and all these things, updated information is available. They will take the particular case duration during that. What are the guidelines are there that they will take? Timelines or filings are done by the RP or IRP or liquidator is happening or not. He will verify. Adherence to procedural rules, section 18 to 25 for CIRP, whether their procedural rules are followed as mentioned in 18 to 25 for CIRP or not. Maintenance of a stakeholders matrix and how many stakeholders are there, who is a particular financial creditor, who is a operational creditor, who is the class of creditor, who is the home buyers, who is the employees, who is the particular workers, all these things, or who is the government the operational creditor, verification of claims done properly or not. Whatever the verification of that particular this one, whether they are properly done or not, communication with the COC and adjudicating authority. So frequently they are conducting or not. If at all one third of the COC people they requested for COC meeting, whether they are conducting or not, that is also they will verify. And the adjudicating authority directions, if at all it is any there, that also they will look into. Only 1 minute, sir. Sorry for the inconvenience, sir. So the auditors examine timelines of the filings. When you are filing, what is the due date of the filing? Why the delay? They will ask the explanation. If at all the explanation is good, then they will admit. Otherwise, they don't admit. Adherence to the procedural rules. Whatever the procedures that are mentioned 18 to 25 of CIRP, whether the RP is followed or IRP is followed or not. Maintenance of stakeholders matrix. The matrix stakeholders, the financial creditors. Okay, if at all audit ask, can I have the financial creditors along with their claims? Yes, take and give it to. Can I have the operational creditors total along with the claims list as well as the claim forms? Can I have the claims of the class of creditor list as well as this one? Can I have the particularly the home loan buyers list as well as the claim forms? Can I have the claims of the others, particularly workers, government? Yes. So like that, you have to maintain the matrix also. Matrix means the financial creditor, the operational creditor who supplied the stocks, class of creditor, particularly bonds, debentures, etc., and all these things along with the claims. So on the claims forms, the summary is required. Summary is required. Verification of claims. Once you have verified the claims, you have to sign on each and every claim form. How you have verified? Whether it is tallied with the books of records or not. If at all books of records are not they tallied, then whether immediately sent one request to the claimant or not. That request letter is attached to that particular claim or not. And if at all proof of evidence is not submitted, whether you have raised that objection and sent that information to the claimant or not. And communication with the COC. And within once the meeting is over, in how many hours you are sending that particular minutes. And whatever the recording as well as written communication, both are one and the same. Sometimes recording is also there. Recording of the minutes, particularly during the COC, recording is there. But in case of the minutes written by the particular the supporting staff or company secretary, etc., that is different. Some of the corporate data, so they are raising some voice. Sir, this is not provided to us as per the regulation. This is that is not reflected in the minutes. So, whatever the recording and other things also they will verify. They will verify. And upon the completion of the audit report is prepared and sent to IBBA with the recommendations by the auditor. And in this also, what are the low risk area? What are the medium risk area? What are the high risk area? The auditors particularly comments also low risk, medium, high risk. High risk special attention will be paid or medium risk also. So accordingly, IBBA will take a call to give show cause notice or not. SCN, the RP or liquidator is allowed to respond before the regulatory direction and a disciplinary notice is issued. Once it is a high risk area, during the random audit also, if at all they found that you have not followed the regulation properly, then it is a high risk area. And definitely they will comment on that particular this one. And regulatory significance. Random audit is significant proactive surveillance mechanism. Proactive, they will select and they will do the audit without targeting any individual or complaint. Individual complaints and other things are not required. They enhance the regulatory confidence and the stakeholders trust also. And they also engage the RP to maintain meticulous records. Sir, once you are involved in the process and the documents or records are maintained perfectly, confidently you can handle or attack the audit. You can substantiate whatever the queries is raising. Because the regulation, the code, and whatever the process you have completed, and each and every document perfectly it is there. You need not worry. But sometimes some of the RPs, the fear psychosis there. Auditor means a fear psychosis. No. Once I am doing correct and the total process is correct as per the regulation, why should I worry? And follow the transparent process, knowing they may subject it to review at any time. So meticulous records. So once you are whether the specific or random audit is leave it off, set aside that one. You conduct in a correct manner. You follow the regulation. If at all any doubt arises, go through the regulation. If doubt arises, go through the code. That's why for every assignment, two important the references are available. Instantly should be available with you. One is the IBC code. The second one is the regulation. Now, after 10 minutes break, we will discuss about the specific audit. Any doubts are up to this point of time? Sir, up to this point of time, any doubts are there?
No, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, very clear, sir.
Okay. So we will take for the 5 to 10 minutes. After that, we will start. And remaining also, tomorrow also I will complete the registers. And once you read this PPT, it is very easy for you to handle the audits. Either it is maybe the specific audit or random. Now break for tea for 10 minutes, sir. 10 minutes, sir. Now, I will discuss specific audits. The specific audit, sometimes it is not complete audit. Suppose one complaint is received by IBBM because valuation is not up to the mark and the values are the related parties of the particular, the corporate debtor or insolvency profession, or he is charging exorbitant CIRP cost, or whatever the claims admitted by them is not up to the mark, lot of irregularities are there, or whatever the evaluation matrix, he is given the marks as per his wishes, not in a scientific manner, or if at all prospective resolution applicants are submitted and he has taken the least amount, not the highest amount, and the haircut is difference is more. Even though commercial wisdom and all these things are there, value maximization is also one of the important areas. So that's why the specific auditor also one complaint or two complaints or all areas are wrong means a complete audit. Or if at all any complaint is received on one area, that area only verified by the auditor. And the linkages to that area also they will verify. So the specific audit. While random audit preventive and specific audit are reactive in nature. The reaction comes from the complainant only. Once the complaints are received, then only the reactive. But it is a preventive. Preventive means to improve the quality of the CIRP or liquidation process. The random audit is by default. These are undertaken where the particular insolvency proceeding or the professional or whatever it is there, professional or outcome has drawn attention due to complaints, adverse findings, unusual delays, or non-standard disclosures. So this is with regard to the specific audit is the particular undertaker where a particular insolvency proceeding or professional or outcome has drawn attention due to complaints. So that's why the adverse findings, unusual delays, or non-standard disclosures. All these things gives a scope for the specific audit. But the specific audit is a lot of challenges you have to face. Because once the complaint is reached to the IBBA, then some process lapses, or some hidden agenda, or the related party, or gross negligence, all these things are there. But if at all you are confident that whatever you have done is correct 100%, even a specific audit also you need not worry. But specific audit when compared to random audit is a big challenge to the IPS. A specific audit is targeted, its aim is to verify the facts. Some stakeholders, they are thinking whatever that particular IP is there, he did this mistake, that mistake, they will mention. Assess misconduct. The misconduct of the RP also. Some of the RPs, lavish expenditure, and they are colluded with the earlier corporate data. They are colluded with the some of the prospective resolution applicant. They are colluded with the registered values. They are colluded with the particular transactional auditor. All these things are there because once you read that disciplinary act and the disciplinary committee, the report, all these things are there. I am not exaggerating. I am not giving any wrong information. Last week also when I discussed, all these things are in the disciplinary committee, usually the cases, all these things are there. access misconduct, or evaluate the process integrity in instance that merit deeper scrutiny is required. Deeper scrutiny. But once the complaint is received, they will verify the granular level of that particular transaction. Triggers for specific audit. Specific audit may be initiated by IBBI based on complaints or grievances filed by the stakeholders or creditors. Yes. Once the stakeholders they are not getting their genuine the amount or claim, and the IPs are doing wrong things, definitely they will escalate to the IBBA, who is a regulator in this regard. And a reference from NCLT, NCLAT regarding deficiencies. Even in the court also, I told so many times that RPs are doing wrong things. The adjudicating authority once or twice they will give the strong warnings. But if at all it is persisting, definitely the IBB will take into the serious. Adverse media report. Sometimes adverse media report, if at all it is a newspaper that CIRP started and the RP that particularly he is favoring some people favor people he is not favoring, and home loan buyers, some people admitted, some people not admitted. If at all media reports are there, definitely that IBBA will take that particular specific audit. Preliminary inspection outcomes in the irregular pattern. Preliminary inspection outcomes. Suppose one area is they verifying, and in that area number of mistakes are there, and the linkages to that particular area are also big problem. So that's why through preliminary outcomes, sometimes in the specific the random audit also they will verify a certain areas. If at all in each and every area, then it was found that many irregularities are there. They will switch over from the specific audit, the random audit to specific audit also. Disproportionate fees, expenses reported in cost disclosures. Cost disclosures one thing, but whereas debited to the company account is different, and a delayed completion of the proceedings. Why delay? What is the reason? Why you are asking extensions, so many extensions? So what is the reason? They will verify, they will interact with the stakeholders, all these things will happen in the specific audit. For example, if RP is alleged to have allowed an ineligible resolution applicant under section 29A, failed to convey COC meeting as required, or charge a disproportionate professional fees, or the board may order specific audit. So, if at all he failed to inform to the COC about the ineligible resolution applicant as required, or charge disproportionate charges, because the COC is also the bankers or financial institution. So, if at all they verified for each and every approval, and where is the regulation? Suppose had I been in COC, definitely I will ask. If at all he submitted one payment, where is the regulation? How much I have to verify? All these things I will cross check that one, then only I will approve. Otherwise, I don't approve. Some of the people, they don't know. That's why simply they are signing. Once one person, a financial creditor is signing, other persons will follow in the queue. Scope and depth. What is the scope of the specific audit? Case specific or person specific focus. Some persons, they are doing wrong things. Some cases, due to volume or anything, The case of specific or person specific focus. They may involve scrutiny of a bank's managed under CIRP regulation 4A. Sometimes some RPs, they are withdrawing the funds beyond the whatever the requirements are there. And they are putting in petty cash or temporary cash. They are retaining at the company. Why? What is the need? What is the need for withdrawal of a higher amount? And if at all you are withdrawing for what purpose? So, if at all the discretion is given to the IP, doesn't mean that he can operate the account like a savings bank of his account. Review of ROC findings. Even though the company is a going concern, and whatever the quarterly or half yearly or yearly that is required under the list of companies, that is to be followed. Okay, CIRP, once the company is a going concern and the company is a listed company, the listed company guidelines are also to be followed. Only 1 minute, sir. Only 1 minute. Cross verification of the claim admission under Regulation 30 and evaluation of valuation reports. Valuation reports are to be verified properly. And treatment of assets. And suppose a valuation, particularly in liquidation also, the valuation is very important. And verification of fees and expenses of reimbursement structures. All these things are to be verified properly. In extreme cases, the audit may extend the internal communication and a conflict of interest analysis between RP professionals, hired and stakeholders. All these things are to be looked into. All these things are to be looked into. Procedure. The IBBA appoints a panel auditor or mandates the concerned insolvency professional agency to conduct the detailed audit. Sometimes the auditor may be directed by IBBA to the IPA. So one of your official go to there and verify this is a complaint. Complaint also they will send to IPA. IPA official may come to your office. The professional receives a show cause style notification demanding cooperation and disclosure of all relevant records. So some of the particularly this disciplinary committee, the findings that most of the RPs they are not giving any cooperation to the auditors. Because once the regulator, the super regulator or your immediate regulator, IPA or IBBA, if the officials are coming from all the way from Delhi to your office to verify the records based on the complaint or the random, lot of cooperation is required. Otherwise, it is a violation of the regulation. It is a violation of the code. The professional receives a show cause style notification demanding cooperation and disclosure of all relevant records. Upon examination, auditor presents a specific audit report. Upon examination, the auditor presents a specific audit report with detailed findings, financial, what are the financial areas, what is the procedural irregularities or financial irregularities or ethical irregularities particularly in a systematic way he will mention. Within that also, what are the low risk areas, what are the high risk areas, what are the medium risk areas, that classification also he will do. The report is then reviewed by IBBA grievance and disciplinary committee. The inspection auditor, they will depute, they will give the report directly to disciplinary committee for potential action. So if at all there is no irregularities, no need to worry. But if at all irregularities are there, directly it goes to the disciplinary committee. Outcome and consequences. The actions following specific audit can include directions for rectification. Once the audit report is over, then you have to answer their queries and you have to rectify whatever the irregularities are there or reporting to the adjudicating authority. Monetary penalties under section 220. So if at all the irregularities are severe nature, they will penalize you under section 220 of the IBC code. Suspension or cancellation of authorization under the IP regulation. Some of the cases, last week also we have seen that disciplinary committee, they have suspended some of the people on account of the irregularities only. It depends upon the gravity of the seriousness of the irregularity. Not directly suspend. Some of them are, that's why I told low, medium, high. If high cases are there, first they will ask the explanation. If explanation is also not good, then they will take action. Next, through these measures, the specific audit serves the corrective and deterrent to ensuring adherence to the professional conduct and statutory discipline. So that's why once the audit report is given, during that audit also, whenever you are interacting with the auditor and whatever the irregularities are there, try to rectify the irregularities at the earliest. Then, once the report is received by you from the disciplinary committee of IBBA, then you should be in a position to they answer that particular report with the evidences and all these things, if at all you are in correct position. Whether you are in correct or wrong, the true, we have to accept it. We have to accept it. Application of random specific audit in various IBC processes. The nature, methodology of audit vary with the type of insolvency and liquidation. So the report, particularly what are the findings are there? The findings are not common. It depends upon so many factors. So many factors. The nature and methodology of the audit vary type of insolvency. Some big cases, the audit is different. Some small cases, they will go in depth also. Each process of code, CIRP, liquidation or voluntary liquidation or PPIRP has a distinct compliance requirement. So the distinct compliance requirement is nothing but a regulation. Whatever the regulations that are given, particularly for that particular product of IBBA, accordingly the auditor will verify. So PPIRP, the compliance is different, liquidation compliance is different, and the voluntary liquidation compliance is entirely different. According to that, you have to, the auditor will verify the particular case of the auditing. Audit in corporate insolvency resolution process cases. So first we will go into the CIRP cases, that audit. Overview of CIRP. Under Part 2, Chapter 2 Code of the CIRP is initiated once a default at least 1 crore occurs. That is, once the case is admitted, the case is also to be verified. Once the case is given, what is the application? What is who filed that application? And what proofs they have mentioned? Some cases, the NCLT also, by error, they may admit the case. Being a resolution profession, so if at all you verify and found, brought to the notice of the NCLT. Suppose I take, for example, interest calculation is wrong, on account of interest calculation, then the amount is high. It crossed more than 1 crore. So the aim is to resolve insolvency through preparation and approval of resolution within 180 to 330 days. The resolution professional become the custodian of the corporate data, entrusted managing operation, collecting claims, and ensuring transparency between the creditor, adjudicating authority, and IBPA. This is with regard to CIRP. What are the auditor's point of view? Role of the random audit in CIRP. Random audit in CIRP typically review. Normally, these are to be reviewed by the following are to be reviewed by the auditor. Timely publication is under regulation 6 or not. Once it is there, retrieve that one, give it to the sir. Order date is this one. I accepted the order on so and so date. From that date to 3 days, publication is given. The publication is reputed, that to high circulation, and the regional also I have given over that area. So once he is verified with regard to the timely publication of announcement under the regulation 6 means so your order may be different. Your acceptance date 3 or 4 days after. Then you take that acceptance to the 3 days, within 3 days, and highest circulation. One is regional language and national presence papers. Sir, this is regional language. This is the highest circulation. This is the national newspaper. This is a reported paper. And this is a format that is given by IBBA for the publication. Over. So here, the procedural lapses, whatever it is there. If at all you have given after 1 week from the date of action, it is violation. If at all instead of 2, you have given 1, that is a violation. If at all you have given the local language, which is the registry office is not located, you have given in other place, then it is a violation. So the print point, because here some news agencies, if at all known to the IP, all these things are there. Verification and collection of claims. Once the notification is given, whether you have collected all the within the stipulated time or not. And this is, you have to follow the regulation 13, whether you have followed the regulation 13 or not. And verification, how many claims are received by us, whether you have entered in the register or not. Once you have registered or not, once you have accepted, show me 1 claim, accepted a claim. What are the proofs you have taken? Okay. If at all financial creditor, how you will arrive the calculation of interest? Okay. Whether that interest is defined under the agreement or not. Okay. Next, whether it is a timely time within the time, 3 years within the time barred or the stale loan. All these things are to be verified. So if at all stale claims are also, even though all forms are there, but the date is more than 3 years, no acknowledgement of debt as per the Limitation Act 18 of the Limitation Act, then the claim to be rejected. Okay, once you have admitted all are pakka in the register, the under financial creditor you have mentioned, whether secured or unsecured, you have to mention. Next, whether you have cross-checked with CERSI or not, if at all financial creditor, or whether you have to cross under section 77 of ROC or not. So, what is the charge created? So, verification of claims. Suppose I take, for example, operational creditor. First, I have to give the purchase order. Okay. Next, what is the correspondence between the corporate debtor and the operational creditor? And what are the terms and the conditions of that particular this one? and whether any bill of exchange accepted by the corporate debtor to the operational creditor for the goods supplied by him, how the goods are transmitted. If the goods are transmitted, so goods are transmitted by lorry or railway or air bill of lading or bill of lading, and you have to verify the invoice with that particular this one. And the once the goods are received, goods received note GRN. Once the goods received notice you given when the whether that is entered in the store's ledger or not by the corporate data. Once the store's ledger is given, whether the bills payable, that is creditors, that is accounts department noted or not, and the books are also to be verified whether that particular item is properly recorded or not, or properly verified or not, that is to be verified by the auditor. So once I have followed that particular system meticulously, then there is no scope for the auditor to mention in his report correct formation of COC under regulation 7, whether COC formation is correct or not, and then I have to verify. Then I have to verify the correctness. So I have to verify. First, take the particular the claims received register. The financial creditors are to be added, and within the financial creditor, secured and unsecured. Within the secured, within the unsecured, related, non-related. Whether I have taken all non-related or not. The non-related secured plus unsecured is equal to formation of COC, and whether I have given the voting percentage correctly or not, the total amount of the claims of the financial creditor, under that one financial creditor, what is the percentage, second financial creditor, what is the percentage, like that. So here also, the formation of a COS under regulation 17, that is also to be verified by the auditor. Here, all these things already defined, whether you have implemented or not. Some of the people, they bypass that particular the regulations and all these things. Once they bypass, all these things are mentioned. Proper conduct of the meetings and voting records. Proper conduct of meetings and voting records. So whenever you are meeting conducted, whether meeting or they inform to them or not, earlier meeting confirmation is sent or not, and in the meeting, what are the times mentioned, whether the meeting is timely conducted, whether recording or audio or video recording is taken or not, and whoever the chairman of the particular meeting is none other than the RP, and first calling the attendance, and the video also, that particular person, whether the same person or not, identification, and all these things, whatever the mentioned in the regulation, that only they will verify. Not beyond that. Not beyond that. So proper conduct of the meeting and voting records. So how many are for that particular resolution? How many are against? And all these things are properly recorded and signed, and take the signature of that particular who are attendees. Maintenance of separate banking account under regulation 444. Suppose a liquidation or whatever it is there, separate account to be mentioned maintained, because whatever the transaction that is to be routed, regulation 44, and in that particular, what are the that parallelly the cash book to be maintained in the company also, the bank book and particular cash book to be, or passbook or bank the cash book to be tallied, and for whatever the amount he withdrawn, whether it is correctly mentioned in the cash book or not, and if at all it is a CIRP cost properly segregated or not, and adherence of the timeline matrix under regulation 40. So whatever the timelines are there, that is mentioned under regulation 40A, that is a t plus 4, 3, t plus 10, or t plus like that, t plus 180, like that they have given the timelines. The timelines, whether it is for the identification of a pop transaction or the valuation of that particular or the register values, all these things are expression of interest or the request for resolution, all these things, timelines are given. The t plus 3, t plus 10, t plus 14, like that, some information, whether that is followed by him or not. For that, you take that particular 40, the regulation, the 40A, and whatever the dates are there, you mention on the specific activity, dates mentioned, the dates and annexure number you mentioned, then it is very easy for the auditor to complete the assignment without any trouble to you as well as to him also. That is called cooperation. Cooperation means you have to show the documents perfectly, and whatever the information required, that is cooperation. Cooperation means not taking that particular the auditor to the Ramoji Film City like that. Some of the auditor, some of the people, instead of auditing, sir, here Golconda, this one is sir famous, sir. That the Charmer is famous. Normally in the bank also, whenever the auditors are coming, we will tell the temples and all these things. Here, cooperation means whatever the information that is solicited or required by the auditor, we have to provide. And compliance disclosure related party transaction. Why related party? What are they? How you are identified? And whether the related party is there in the COC, all these things, IBPA circulars they have mentioned, whether they are following or not. The audit ensures that the RP's role remain value neutral and compliant with the code of conduct of the IP regulations. With the IP regulations. Specific audit in CIRP. Specific audit may be targeted misconduct such as admission of a related party as financial creditor. Once the related parties are there, they should not be part of the COC. They should not be part of that particular voting right. So some complaints are originated. So even though he is a related party, he is a part of the COC. Once he is a part of COC, the total COC is wrong. Whatever the earlier, suppose take for example, belated submission of claims. So whatever the earlier meetings are there, that is valid. But in case of a related party from day one is there, all are invalid. COC meetings. Preferential or undervalued transfer not reported under section 43 to 50. What is the problem? You have to arrive at a conclusion whether it is a related party and get the permission of the adjudicating authority and get the approval of the COC for payment of the forensic auditor fees and complete that particular thing. Why you are not a preferential undervalue? Means you are not you are supporting to the corporate data. You are supporting to the corporate data. Okay. Once this is the report is received, you have to submit to the adjudicating authority to reverse the transaction. If at all you are not submitting, some hidden agenda may be there. Okay, if at all any procedural lapse are there, there is no problem. If at all you are intentionally not informed to the base, you are colluded with the, because of fraudulent transaction, some criminal actions may be initiated by the NCLT also. They are having the powers. So conflict of interest between RP and a resolution applicant. Definitely, because here CIRP you are the RP. 100 people, they are auditing with the two eyes. Whatever your movements are there, whatever your actions are there, whatever your particularly relation with others, all these things others will always watch. You are thinking that nobody will watching me, but definitely. So once the RP is colluded with the resolution applicant, definitely they will raise the case, raise that issue to the particular IBPA. Then they will verify. They will verify start from 29A. First they will verify here whether resolution applicant is the known to the RP or not. Not like that from expression of interest. From expression of interest, how many people are there, whether this person is there or not, how 29 verified for all the people, for this man also. And whether any deficiencies are there in identification of 29A. After that, evaluation matrix. Evaluation matrix of this person versus the other persons. Next, why this person is identified by COC? What are the strength of this resolution professional vis-a-vis the other prospective resolution applicants? That in detail the auditor will verify. So, conflict of interest between RP and a resolution applicant. In certain high-value CIRPs, such as the public sector or large private sector companies, specific audits are crucial for preserving public trust and systemic transparency. Otherwise, nobody will believe that IBC. That is only a fraudulent system. So to avoid that type of the criticism from the public, the specific audit, if any complaints are received, a specific audit will be initiated. Audits in liquidation process. So the audit, what are the areas? After that also, I have taken some more checklist and other things. That also, tomorrow also I will framework. Once the resolution fails, the corporate debtor enter into the liquidation per chapter 3 of the code. The liquidator usually same RP unless replaced. Today, whatever the new regulations are there, that is a different. That to 31st May, like that, some date also they have given. And CIRP to be conducted one RP and a liquidator another person. Not both are not the same. Thereby, if that separate is there, some more opportunities will come to the others. Otherwise, if at all are handled by one person, the other people will deprive of the particular this one. So, two are a different person. Even personal guarantor to corporate debtor also, those who are handling say that also to be disconnected. Then the opportunities to distribute it to all the people instead of concentrated. Concentration always a danger. Because due to increase in the volume, concentration, quality will be deteriorated. Okay, leave it off that particular, the both cases are to be handled, some comfort, that is a minor comfort. The major discomfort is if two people are handled, then quality will increase and distribution. And the liquidator usually the same unless replace administrators, the sale of assets, settlement of claims and distribution. Random audit aspects, particularly random audits of the liquidation examine maintenance of stakeholders consultative committee proceeding. Some of the liquidators they bypass the stakeholders committee, thereby it leads to complaints. Complaints leads to specific audit. And what is why they have established SEC? Some rationale is there. Whenever you are selling any asset, that is brought to the notice of that particular committee. Then now you take the feedback. Okay, finally it's your decision. But once you have taken the decision, it is to be recorded properly. Even though the stakeholders told something, but I have not accepted, I have taken this decision based on the following grounds. If that is there, once this specific audit arises, you are in safe. Otherwise, you are in trouble. The maintenance of stakeholders committee proceedings. It is a group effort, not individual effort. Checks and balances are there. Preparation of asset memoranda under regulation. Up to last rupee asset, that is to be mapped, whether it is a contingent, particularly contingent liabilities or whatever assets, some litigation is there. Once I win, I will get some amount. Mention. Company, there some land is there. That land, some litigation is there. The prospects of the winning chances are more. Mention. But it is under litigation. And what is the value? Once the litigation is over, then if the company got that land, then it is a benefit to the stakeholders. Proper asset memorandum. Once I am preparing the asset memorandum, what are the present assets? Whether the assets are matching with the latest balance sheet. Latest means particularly the 2 years back or 3 years back, whatever the balance sheet. And after that also, from the data for liquidation, I have to prepare the balance sheet also. What are the assets and what are you have to frame. You have to prepare a rough balance sheet based on the assets and the liabilities and all these things. If at all any difference is there, you mention as a suspense. And the asset memoranda that all assets are to be. Suppose I take for example, the assets are there. Whenever the assets are purchased by the company, asset register is there. Fixed assets register, the plant and machinery register, the land and buildings register. All our schedules are available. Registers are also available. Verify that one. Whether these assets are matching with limit of the price, whether it is matching or not. The number of assets. In the land and building, 3 sites are there, but you have mentioned only 1 site. Where is the 2 sites? Plant and machinery, 20 locations are there. You have mentioned only 10 locations. Where is another 10 locations? Stock is there in the balance sheet, but as on date, you have not mentioned. Why you have not mentioned? Reasons. The stock is used for manufacturing or stock, even though it is there in the mention, but at the time of liquidation, stock is not available. Whatever your remarks you mention. And adherence to the mode of sale, auction, private auction, or auction. Once it is a perishable nature, once it is more than the fair market value, the property is there. And once you are going for a private, if earlier auctions are not materialized, the reason, if at all perishable, if at all you have not sold that asset on that day, then the value becomes 0. So the auction or private. So once you have given auction, what is the reserve price? Why you have reduced the reserve price? No comments, nothing is that. That's why number of cases are the disciplinary action initiated cases, the penalties and the cancellation of the certificate of practice is there. This is not a new one. I am not dictating that one. All of these things are there in the regulation. Adherence of the mode of sale. And if at all they mentioned FCRA of Indian Banks Association, upload that one. And thereby the visibility of the particular asset will increase, the value will be increased, and the number of participants will increase. Distribution of the priority under Section 53. So once the proceeds are received, as per the waterfall mechanism, you have to distribute correctly. And why you are giving the last person instead of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So all these things leads to the complaint. Complaint leads to specific audit. Specific audit leads to the disciplinary action. Disciplinary action leads to the certificate of cancellation and penalties. Once the system is there, some people they are doing this wrong things. Some people. Otherwise, how many cases? Almost every month, 3 to 4 people are dismissed, are suspended, are penalties, or the 2 or 3 years practice stopped, or that particularly the pre-registration course, the again you all these things, the image risk of the resolution profession, submission of the progress reported to NCLT and IB. What is the problem? Progress report, if at all monthly or quarterly, whatever the periodicity is there, if at all no sales are happened, sales are not happened and efforts are maintained on that particular day, and upload that information. Both IBBA as well as informed to the NCLT also. Why the communication? If at all communication gaps are there, it leads to penalty. It leads to the violation of your code of conduct. These audits are vital in liquidation. Spans during long durations and involves asset realization, often prone to valuation and transparency issue. So most of the particular the liquidation cases are the assets valuation and the auction or private sale. And whatever the reserve price is there, unilaterally. And why you are not brought to the notice of the stakeholders committee, consultation committee. And asset sales appear undervalued or lack of transparency. 1 year back only, that is 330 days. If at all the CIRP runs for 180, 270, 330, 1 year back only, the valuation report. Once the land is there, that is to be appreciated. Normally, generally. And a wide variation within 1 year, how it is possible? Undervalue. 1 year back, if at all CIRP, the valuation is there, the liquidation commencement also, you can value that property. If at all it warrants, otherwise the whole valuation you can take. So asset sale appears undervalued or lack of transparency, which is not correct. Liquidation, stakeholders complain, delay distribution. Once, as per Companies Act also, for a distribution some percentage, and for sale some percentage of commission, and if at all you are distributed that amount within the time, then you will get some commission. And if at all delay is there, your commission percentage will reduce. And what is the problem in implementing that schedule? Once the amount is there, that amount is also credited to the bank account. You are the authorized person. What is the problem in distribution as per waterfall mechanism? Once you are distributed that one, your obligation, one obligation will be over. Otherwise, if at all the amount is lying and the assets are sold, they may complain also. And some people, even though they are not eligible, they are also eagerly awaiting for that amount that they may distribute to us. So the stakeholders complain for delay distribution. Had I been there, today if I received it, tomorrow I will distribute. How much time it will take? Tell me, sir, madam. How much time it will take? If at all before distribution, my list is ready, na? My waterfall mechanism list is ready. Once the list is ready, And what is the problem in appropriation of that payment to the correct person? Verify, you take another day through RTGS or NEFT, whatever the accounts are given, you direct. Here, the convincing skills are also required by the liquidator. Some of the people, no, sir, that 50% I don't take, I require 80%, I will approach the court. Boss, you are getting the funds. Remind people they are not getting the funds. And 50% is a big amount. First you take, if at all any amount is, then you are, as per appropriation payment, you are eligible. If at all you are denied, then you will become the loser. Convincing skills is also an art as well as science by the liquidator. So the stakeholders complain delay in distribution. That should not happen. Once my list is ready, distributors list is ready. Once the funds are received, immediately I will prepare the one statement and send it to the bank, sent by NEFT or RTGS. Liquidation cost seems to be inflated. Once the company is in doldrums and the stakeholders, particularly the creditors, their haircut is there. Is it a live company? No. In that case, cost of the particular liquidation cost should be minimized. Here there is no scope for the sir. One thing, whatever I am doing as a liquidator or the resolution professional, 100 people with the 2 eyes, they will audit my activities or operation. And whatever my payments all are closely monitored because most of the people, they are earlier corporate data knows him very well. Not only that one. If at all I am not getting my funds, I am closely monitor what activity CIRP or liquidation is happening in that company so that when I will get my funds back, then I also become the auditor. Auditor means not this type of auditor. Audit the activities of the resolution professional or the liquidator. Related parties are involved in acquiring assets. Why related parties are acquiring the assets? So even the related parties are also, they should not, because once the related parties acquire, then the compromisation of the price and value maximization compromise will also happen. So the related parties are involved in acquiring the assets, then it leads to complaint. Then the next step is specific audit. There are non-remittance of liquidation process to the designated. Why? Today, once I received the check or cash, but if at all I delayed in deposited the message, the amount, then I have to pay the interest also as a liquidator. If at all I received the payment and not credited to the bank account, how many days the funds are with me? Then on that funds at the rate of 12% or whatever the rate of interest is there, I have to pay. Once a non-remittance, what is the problem? Why you are holding? Whether it is a check or a demand draft received from the buyer, the buyer, immediately I have to deposit or ask him to they pay directly to the NEFT or RTGS. Then only once the amount is received, then it is very easy to find out because even corporate internet banking is also there. To the designated promptly. Finding the specific audit often influence disciplinary proceedings against the liquidators, emphasizing the fiduciary accountability and a timely execution. Today, some more cases are there. Definitely, they are facing the problem of DC, disciplinary committee actions. Disciplinary committee actions. Audits in voluntary liquidation. So here, that is not a specific audit, is not related to one product. The complaints may be either voluntary, even though assets and the liabilities are matching in the voluntary liquidation. But regulations are different, actions are different. So the actions and the regulations should be synchronized. So the audits in voluntary liquidation. What is a voluntary liquidation under section 59 of IPC? Covers solvent companies where the assets and liabilities are matching, that wish to liquidate themselves by the shareholders' resolution. Here, voluntary liquidator perform similar functions, but with relatively less conflict among parties. Voluntary liquidation, similar functions are there, but relatively less conflict among the parties, because everybody will get it. But at the same time, as a liquidator, maximum amount to be extended to the lost person, that is equity shareholders. So once the assets are sold with without any cautious approach, then value will decrease to the shareholders. Role of random audit in particularly the voluntary liquidation. Filing a declaration of solvency, GNL2 with ROs. Whether it is correct or not, that is to be verified. Whether it is a solvent or not, whether assets are matching with the liabilities and capable of recovering by all the liabilities, the liabilities by the company or not. Appointment and disclosure by the liquidator. And the correct completion of asset sale and settlement liabilities. Timely filing the final report to NOC, the NOC for the tax auditor tax authorities. They ensure that the solvent entities follow the regulatory discipline and public process integrity. So that problems are also there. Specific audits may, if there are stakeholders' grievances in voluntary liquidation. Sometimes they may point out. And what are the grievances? That is to be addressed by the liquidator. False solvency declarations are suspected. And misrepresenting in realization of value and distribution ratio to be is detected. These investigations enhance public confidence that voluntary processes are not exploited to conceal the assets or avoid liabilities. So every system, some problems or some challenges are there. These challenges are to be addressed properly. For that purpose only, the audit is there. The audit is there. So I will stop here, sir. Any doubts are there, sir, up to this point of time? Only one side I am talking. Only one side I am talking.
Yes, covers the basic provisions, which would also cover the duties and responsibilities that a director should be aware of before taking such a position. It covers the aspects of governance.
So in many cases, accounts are not available. So what's the best way out?
Madam, your voice is breaking, madam.
Issue.
In many cases,
Hmm.
the balance sheet or the accounts are not available.
Correct.
NTA record, the income tax record is also very old. So what's the best way out?
Sir, even though balance sheet is prepared 5 years back or 10 years back, as on insolvency commencement date, you have to prepare the balance sheet. Whatever the assets, whatever the liabilities known to you, it is not called as a balance sheet. It is assets and liabilities. because the balance sheet is to be balanced there. But you have to frame the balance sheet, whatever the assets, whatever the liabilities, and deep investigation by inquiring with the particular the stakeholders as well as the corporate data. And if staff is available, staff also. Some of the companies, 5 years back, it was stopped, or 10 years, you take 10 years back. By this time, there is, but some assets are there.
Even the fixed asset registers are not available. So how do we verify it?
Sir, here, particularly every year, the companies are filed with the this one, particularly ROC, the balance sheets, the financial statements, and XBLR, Extended Business Reporting Language, code wise, the fixed assets, how much, and the plant and machinery, all these things are available. So we have to frame, because here, if at all 100% registers are available, then it is very easy for us. Even at that particular point of time also, suppose I take for example, company assets are there, land is there, land title deeds are available with you. Land title deeds are available with you. So land title deeds, if at all you are inquired with the register of charge, register office, definitely whatever the latest sale value, registered sale value of that particular property is there, they will tell, then it is a value. Second one is anyhow you are they engaging the service of the value land. If at all rusted or outdated machinery is there, or building is there, then some value. But anyhow, the liability holders, they will show the proofs. They are having their proofs. Each and every proof you have to verify. Suppose
Is there
take for example 10 years back, one creditor has filed. Okay. In that 10 years back, in that creditor is reflected in the particular liability side of the balance sheet or not. So some ways and means, I'm not talking about it is very easy. It is very, very difficult to get the information, because the company is not operated for the last 5 years. But some efforts are to be placed. And this is not a perfect balance sheet, undoubtedly.
any mechanism? The company has multiple locations or lands at multiple locations. Any
Sir.
method to find out from a single source where the assets are?
Yes, sir. Sir, here particularly, schedules are there, sir. Schedules. For everything, schedules are also to be filed. Schedules. Suppose debtors are there. Debtor schedule. Next, buildings are there. Buildings are schedule. In the schedules, how many buildings are there? Plant and machinery. Schedule is there. Schedule. That schedules are also available. So here, to some extent, not to a large extent, to some extent, ROC figures are also available. Particularly along with the financial statement, if the company filed the schedules, then the schedules are also. Second one is whatever the statutory audit or audits are happened 10 years back, and who they not they whenever you are filing the case, particularly the uploading the information in ROC website, only audited figures are to be they uploaded. In the auditor, who is the auditor name? If the auditor name is there, you contact that auditor. The client files are also available with the auditors. Client files are also available with auditors. Because this is not only one solution, and it may click and it may not click, but we have to put some efforts. Brainstorming is required. Brainstorming. 2 or 3 persons in that particular line of activity. If at all they are thinking, definitely some good results will happen.
Okay, thank you.
So with this, today I am concluding, sir. And tomorrow, 2:30 to 5:30, the remaining areas, I have prepared the checklist and all these things, particularly the audit and ran the lot of checklists are also I have prepared. And all these things I will discuss tomorrow also with the regulations, all these things. And tomorrow I will give a rough idea about the once you listen that up to 5:30 tomorrow, you will get a rough idea about the what are the areas he will look into. And to some extent, once you are facing the auditor, the skills will enlarge like anything. Because he is pointing out particularly your how you are handling the process and all these things. So thank you very much, sir. And
Thank you, sir.
good night to all. And tomorrow we will meet by 2:30, sir. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Madam.
Thank you very much, sir.